What if Earth tilted like Uranus? Imagine if one day Earth suddenly tilted so extremely that it was almost parallel to its orbital plane. Not the usual 23.5-degree tilt we know, but a staggering 98 degrees like Uranus. The question is, what would happen to life as we know it? Before we dive deeper into this mind-bending scenario, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. That way, you won't miss any of our exciting videos about science, space, and wild what-if ideas. Let's explore this thought experiment together. Right now, Earth's 23.5-degree tilt gives us 4 seasons. The rotation is relatively stable, creating predictable yearly cycles that life depends on. But with a tilt as extreme as Uranus, the seasonal patterns would collapse into chaos. On Uranus, each pole faces the sun for about 42 years, then plunges into darkness for another 42 years. If Earth tilted the same way, one side of the planet would experience near-eternal daylight. Meanwhile, the other would endure decades of endless night. Picture yourself living in the northern hemisphere. For decades, the sun would hang in the sky, never truly setting. With no nightfall, temperatures would skyrocket, reshaping entire ecosystems. Meanwhile, in the southern hemisphere, people would endure a never-ending winter of darkness and cold. Crops wouldn't grow, and daily life would turn into a constant struggle for survival. The contrast between the two hemispheres would split the planet into opposite worlds. Earth as we know it thrives on seasonal balance. Without it, countless species would fail to adapt. A mass extinction could unfold faster than we could imagine. The oceans would change drastically too. Under relentless sunlight, water temperatures would soar, fueling superstorms. On the dark side, seas would freeze into thick, permanent ice sheets. This would disrupt global ocean currents. Nutrient cycles that sustain marine life would collapse. The food chain, from plankton to whales, would fall apart. The atmosphere wouldn't escape either. The extreme temperature difference between light and dark hemispheres would create massive global storms. Winds could reach unimaginable speeds. Human life would be thrown into turmoil. Agriculture, which relies on predictable seasons, would collapse. Without reliable planting cycles, food production would plummet. Nations might be forced to relocate their populations. Habitable zones would become scarce and highly contested. Global conflicts over resources would skyrocket. Cities in the sunlit hemisphere could burn under relentless heat. Cities in the dark hemisphere would freeze and eventually be abandoned. Mass migrations would be inevitable. Yet, humanity has always found ways to adapt. Technology might help us survive. Giant solar farms could harvest endless energy on the bright side, while nuclear power and bioengineering could sustain the dark side. Scientists might engineer crops that don't need sunlight. Artificial lighting with LEDs could replace natural sunshine. Vertical farming could become the backbone of global food production. Still, human health would suffer. Our bodies rely on a 24-hour day-night rhythm. Without it, biological clocks would go haywire, causing stress, insomnia, and chronic illness. Social inequality would also explode. Sunlit regions could become technological superpowers, overflowing with energy. The dark regions might lag behind, dependent on aid. Imagine the injustice. One half of the world thriving, the other struggling to survive. Civilizations could collapse not through war, but because of Earth's tilt. Could humanity remain united under such conditions? Animals would face devastation too. Migration patterns would break down, birds would lose their way, and many species would vanish. Wildlife would lose its natural rhythm. Earth could split into 2 extreme ecosystems. One side a blazing desert, the other a frozen wasteland. The narrow transition zones might be the only habitable regions left. But don't picture only doom and gloom. Humans might build futuristic cities under giant domes with artificial climates. These engineered habitats could become safe havens for survival. Transportation between regions would be vital. Air, sea, and perhaps even space routes could help balance resources. The world would become an interconnected web of survival hubs. Astronomically, such a tilt could even affect the moon's gravitational pull, as the moon might no longer stabilize Earth's rotation. Over time, Earth's spin could become more erratic. If that happened, days and nights would not only stretch but also vary unpredictably, sometimes longer, sometimes shorter, depending on gravitational shifts. The chaos would deepen. the landscape of Earth would be unrecognizable. Permanent glaciers would dominate the dark side, while vast deserts would scorch the bright side. Ice mountains and fire plains would define the planet. Rivers on the bright side might dry up completely. On the dark side, water would freeze solid to incredible depths. The global water cycle would collapse. Over time, extreme heat and cold could damage the ozone layer. Sunlight would pour through unchecked, blasting life with dangerous radiation. Diseases linked to radiation exposure could rise. Yet even in this nightmare, it wouldn't necessarily mean the end. Humanity could innovate its way through. Artificial day-night cycles might restore a sense of normalcy. Society would adapt as well. Calendars might no longer follow months and years, but cycles of light and darkness. Entirely new cultures could emerge from this alien lifestyle. Civilization might split Earth into light zones and dark zones. Two worlds different but interdependent. Trade would continue, but under extreme difficulty. The big question is, could humanity truly endure such conditions? Or would civilization crumble under the pressure? The outcome would depend on our adaptability. If we fail, Earth could become nearly uninhabitable. But if we succeed, we could build a new kind of civilization. A future that exists only because of extreme challenges. So, if Earth really tilted like Uranus, our world would never be the same. Seasons, climates, ecosystems, and civilizations would be flipped upside down. Humanity would face an age of uncertainty. Now here's the question for you. Do you think humanity could survive in a world like this? Or would we abandon Earth and search for another planet to call home? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget, if you enjoy what-if scenarios like this, hit the like button and subscribe. Support this channel so we can keep bringing you more mind-blowing science and space explorations. See you in the next video.